If you love the BLM riots in the summer of George Floyd, I mean, who wouldn't? They were fiery, but mostly peaceful. Then you're going to love the global intifada, which we got going on right now. Riots, chaos, and the blockade of peace all over the world. You had different organizations with links to the Muslim Brotherhood, IRGC, different Soros groups, different radical communist, socialist, fight back associations of Antifa nonsense, with the guest appearance from the Khalistanis. Nice for them to join in. Try and shut down the entire world for Gaza. They blocked ports, they blocked bridges, the Golden Gate Bridge, they blocked bridges in Vancouver, streets everywhere, waving Hezbollah flags in New York. And in Toronto, blocked railways. And I want to focus on Canada and Toronto here because I think the entire movement can be summed up by what you saw in Toronto. Now, let's put this in the context of these people don't care about a ceasefire. These people don't care about peace. They're not anti-war activists in any way. In Toronto, you saw Karima's viral video where they announced the Islamic Republic of Iran has fired drones into Israel. They all cheer and yell and praise, and then they give the takbir, Allahu Akbars. They're having a great time. So these people are not ceasefire now people, but they are going to blockade our streets. So this is from an independent journalist there. Update. She's very in support of the jihad. Palestinian Toronto police have arrested 5 protesters who are peacefully demanding, quote, stop arming Israel and, quote, an arms embargo in Israel on the railways. So admits that it was a blockade of critical infrastructure. Okay. 2 major things here. First, let's do the Canadian angle. We just had a ruling that blockading is bad. The Clouds leaders of that blockade, so if you remember, there's a Freedom Convoy in Ottawa. No blockades in the actual Freedom Convoy of Ottawa. I was there. I documented it. That. Now, there were other parts of the country that were blockaded to end the mandates and vaccines that independently people did. So we found the Clouds border blockade people guilty because they blocked infrastructure and borders with the U.S., and this is unequivocally a bad thing. Okay, if that's the standard we're going to set. We just had these people on the rails in Toronto for 5 hours and not clear them out. I mean, they're coming here every day. They're doing this. Now, that's one thing. The 2-tiered policing system. If you hate Canada and you're a radical that wants to destroy us for any you could be an eco-radical, you could be an Islamic radical, you could be a communist radical, all the types of radicalism, you can do whatever you want. And this even goes before the Palestinians. I'm not saying this was created by the October 7th. Go before COVID, when the eco-terrorists and indigenous lunatics were blockading the railways because something racism 200 years ago. For months on end, we just let that happen. But you don't hate the country, you don't want to destroy it, then no, the law now applies to you. That's the one thing. 2 different sets of laws. It's clear as day. There are no coherent rules in Western civilization. Oopsie doodles. The other thing, let's bring it back. Remember what they're stop arming Israel and the armament embargo. Stop. We did. You lunatics. We did. That's what Trudeau capitulated. Great. You got what you wanted. The $4 in coffee tins we give Israel in military aid. By the way, they give us more. Israel, so this is a net benefit for Israel. If Israel just says, oh, we save money, just we don't have to give things to Canada anymore to whatever. Okay, fine. They end up saving tens of millions of dollars. We don't. But fine. You ended the peanuts we sent to Israel. Great. You got what you wanted. Why are you there still demanding that you get what you want a second time? These people can't be satiated. And the more you capitulate to them, the more violent and the more things they're going to block. The more they're trying to find the red line. The more you let them get away with, the more they're going to do. They're going to blockade again. They're going to go into traffic. They're going to cause the city millions of dollars to leverage Olivia Chow into bombing Israel. This is what these people won't stop at. These people will not be satisfied until Canadian jets are flying over and bombing Tel Aviv indiscriminately. That's what they want. And even when they get that, if they were to get that, if Canadian warplanes were just bombing Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and just shelling synagogues and Jewish cultural centers and King David's tomb, boom, 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 and they're just cheering and cheering and cheering. The minute the dust settles, do you think they'll be like, oh, thank you, Canada, for joining us? No, they're going to be back on the streets, black blockading, demanding we start bombing Washington, D.C. That's the next thing. And all of them will admit this. If you get them, I've had conversations with people. You get down and sit with them, they actually believe this is what they believe. Maybe there's just some naive, I just think the genocide, I want children to stop dying and this and that. Talk to those people long enough, they eventually get to, we want warplanes indiscriminately flying over Tel Aviv. That's what the anti-war stuff, I guarantee, is going there. Now, the reason we have to bring this up is because it's going to get worse, because we're allowing it to get worse, and we're capitulating to them. You don't think halal mortgages, we're going to start investigating halal mortgages? You don't think that sends a political signal? It does. We have to realize who the enemies of Western civilization are. All the people trying to blockade these rails there and their supporters, right? The radical communists, Islamo-fascists, most of the people, George Soros organizations are already trying to bail these people out of jail in the US. So I don't want to hear any of these alt-righters coming up to me, Soros. You guys are standing with George Soros. Like, the alt-right is standing with George Soros now to own the Jews. It's insane. We've reached peak insanity. We've reached peak insanity where the jihadis on the streets of Canada are cheering on the Islamic Republic of Iran. And inside the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Iranians are cheering on Israel. This is the year 2024. It's upside down, topsy-turvy world, and it's going to get worse. There's no avoiding this now. We've made our bed. And you could say, oh, Daniel's a Jew, Daniel's a Zionist. He's just, yes, I am. I've been warning about this for decades. For decades. We've been warning people like me, saying, you want to adopt this ideology that anti-Zionism, that Israel doesn't have the right to exist because blah, 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 settler colonialism based on a fake narrative. Well, don't be surprised when lefties come to your country, make up a fake narrative, say blah, 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 settler colonialism. Also, you have to be abolished. Direct line. High correlation. Correlation here and causation, not too far off. So enjoy the global intifada. Get out there, get your keffiyehs. Remember, stay hydrated. And if you want it to keep going, vote Jagmeet, vote Justin. And maybe we can turn Canada into a shared province where we would have no more provinces. One would go to China, one would become New Khalistan, one would become Gaza 2.0, and we could have an actual, we could have an entire province for halal mortgages, and then we could just full out make Ontario. Let's just turn Toronto into the capital of communism. Let's just make it a communist thing, and then that will bring peace, because that's what these people want. And if you're not willing to stand up to these people, that's what you're going to get.